all alert levels. Stay at home as much as possible except to get essentials like groceries and medications. You can expand your household bubble to include one other household, effective April 30th, 2020. And if you have any COVID-19 symptoms, contact 811. May 24 to 31 is Tourism Week in our province. The tourism industry contributes $1.4 billion annually to the Newfoundland and Labrador economy and is one of the largest industries in our town. It will undoubtedly be impacted this year by the global health pandemic. We encourage residents to vacation in our province and explore all the beautiful destinations that Newfoundland and our region has to offer. Since our last meeting, Marine Atlantic announced suspension of the ferry service in Argentia for 2020. This was a tremendous blow to our community and the tourism industry in our region. A media release was issued advising of the town's disappointment, and discussions are continuing with MP McDonald and others to try to reverse this decision. This is also Pandemic Services Week in Newfoundland. We would like to express our appreciation and support to all the frontline medical emergency responders and ambulance service providers who play a very vital service in our area, especially during times like this. We are grateful for your commitment. Thank you all. Condolences are extended to the family and members of the Snowbirds and the tragic loss of Captain Jennifer Casey during Operation Inspiration. Our thoughts are with you during this difficult time. Bulk Collection Day is June the 1st. Information can be found in our website or Facebook page, or you can call the office if you need any inquiries. Residents are asked to have their bulk items at the curbside by 7 a.m. We'll now ask for a motion the adoption of the agenda dated May 26, 2020. Moved by Councillor Smith, second by Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Adoption of the minutes dated April 28, 2020. Ask for a motion. Ask for a motion to adopt the minutes of April 28, 2020. Councillor Smith. Second. Deputy Mayor. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Any business arising from the minutes of April 28, 2020? We move on to the action sheet. The council, we're looking at some of our assets, and the finalisation of the sale of these assets will be upcoming soon. Public Works is reviewing some of the assets that we have, surplus equipment that will be going out to a public auction. Any other questions on the action sheet? Road painting and sweeping is going to occur soon. I believe there's some paving will be done in the area as well on the town-owned properties.
Mayor, the dump is also open now, correct too, right?
Yes, I have that in a discussion as well on the executive, Deputy.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions on the action sheet? New business. We'll move to the executive report. Moment. Executive Committee met May 20, 2020. There's no recommendations, just some updates. On the pool project, the Wellness Centre, the RFQ was issued for bidders. 6 bidders have been identified and submitted proposals. The RFQ evaluation process will be ongoing in the next several weeks, and an anticipation to award it before the middle of June. the waste recovery facility on Fox Harbour Road. There was discussions about the waste recovery facility. I had numerous discussions with the ministers, and at the last meeting, correspondence from Eastern Waste that there was no set time for the waste recovery facility to be opened, the transfer station. Through more discussions following the meeting with the minister, it was agreed then by Eastern Waste that the facility would be opened at June the 2nd, and there is a process in place, and it's based on surnames, last name, and the schedule will be found on the town's website. Again, if anybody have any questions or concerns, contact the office.
Mayor, just one quick question on that. I did have some concerns. It said that everything had to go in garbage bags.
Deputy, yes, there were some concerns in garbage bags, and just for clarification, it does not have to be in garbage bags. In the event, if you were going to use it, and most people in Placentia never use garbage bags, but just example, if you had some insulation from your home or drywall, if you were to put it in bags, the only type of bag that's accepted at the landfill are clear bags, so they can clearly identify what was in the bag. So you don't need to put it in bags. It's not mandatory to have it in bag, but it was just clear bags. If you were going to bag it, it had to be in clear bags for identification. That's at the transfer station only. It's not for the curbside pickup, and it's not for the bulk collection.
Perfect, thanks.
Okay, the DFO office in Argentia. Currently, the DFO office in Argentia is still being staffed here, and we're also still pursuing with the government to try to maintain that status. Any other questions? Okay, we'll move on to the next report. Next report is the Finance Committee report.
Okay, the Finance Committee met on May the 19th by teleconference, and in attendance were Councillor Jane Hines, Deputy Mayor Keith Pearson, Mary Green as Manager of Finance, Acting Manager, CAO, and also as our recorder, and me as Chair. And we made the following recommendations. The Council approved payment of, I think, Mayor, you were going to declare a
Yes, this issue, I'm in a conflict of interest as the owner of the property. Thank you.
Go ahead, Kay.
Okay, the council approved the following. A payment to 10818 Newfoundland Limited in the amount of $1,207.50 for call out for snow clearing in April. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Smith, seconded by Councillor Hines. All those in favor? Motion carried. You can bring back the mayor.
Okay. So the council approved payment to Edward Collins Contracting Limited in the amount of $1,242 for call out for snow clearing in April. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Second by Deputy Mayor. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
The council approved payment to Eastern Chemical Newfoundland Inc. in the amount of $1,377.70 for 4 water testing kits.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second.
Second.
Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
Before you do the next one, Mayor, I need to declare conflicts. So can I please be removed from the meeting?
Councillor Fitzpatrick has declared a conflict.
And she's gone.
Okay. Councillor
Okay.
Smith.
The council approved payment to Provincial Ready Mix Inc. in the amount of $1,486.72 for rental of 4 cylinder containers and disposal.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Deputy Mayor. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
And the council approved the
One
remaining
moment,
account.
we'll ask Councillor Fitzpatrick to come back, please. Okay, Councillor Smith.
Okay, and that council approved the remaining accounts payable transaction journal dated May the 13th, 2020 in the amount of $22,690.22. They were all items under $1,000.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The council approved the check register for the operating account in the amount of $174,548.72. Checks numbered 028552 to 028619.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. We'll have a second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The council approved the check register for the special accounts in the amount of $223,024.92.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Collins Power. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The council approved the visa statement expenditure for the period of March 28th, 2020 to April 27th, 2020 in the amount of $1,459.03. I'll move.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
That council approved the in-kind donation to Children's Wish Run the Rock as per past practice pending staff availability.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions?
Just for clarification, Mayor, what the in-kind donation is for the use of the arts facility?
Staffing in the arts facility and properties, yes.
Okay.
The council approved the
Question. All in favour? Motion carried.
The council approved the invoice adjustment on account of UNIQU001 in the amount of $266.68, reflecting the date of the notification to the town that this business is no longer in operation.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Second, Councillor Collins Power. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The council approved a credit of $280 on account OL1VP002 to reflect the correct charge for water sewer on vacant land tax of $100.
Moved by Councillor Smith. Questions? Second, sorry. Second by Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The council approved a request from Cultural Tourism and Beautification Committee to purchase fireworks in the amount of $2,000, the cost to be covered under funding from Canadian Heritage.
Moved by Councillor Smith. Second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The council approved the request from the Recreation and Community Program Committee to fund the virtual summer recreation program proposed by Pbis for this summer. Council will give 60% of the $19,000 allotted budget for the recreation program for 2020, a total of $11,400 to offset the cost of this program as Pbis seeks other government funding.
Moved by Councillor Smith. Second. Second, Deputy Mayor. Any questions? All in favour?
Gregory.
Motion carried. Thanks.
That council approved the request from the Recreation and Community Programming Committee to grant $5,000 budgeted for the Regatta Committee for equipment repairs and maintenance, provided the committee provides the town with a copy of the invoices identifying the repair work was done.
Moved by Councillor Smith. Second. Deputy Mayor, any questions?
Mayor, I thought,
Go ahead, Councillor Fitzpatrick.
sorry, I thought this was already, we already had a motion on this. Or maybe I was mistaken. Thought this was in a previous meeting.
Can we ask clarification? Not that the acting CEO is aware of, so
Okay, all right.
if there is, we'll remove it.
Okay.
Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The council approved the request from the Public Works and Public Safety Committee for the expenditure of $20,613.75, HST included, to the Department of Transportation and Works for 200 tons of sand and 50 tons of salt.
Moved by Councillor Smith. Second? Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The council approved the request from the Public Works and Public Safety Committee for the expenditure of $1,733.61, including HST, to Samson Equipment Limited for a maintenance contract on the town's generators.
Moved by Councillor Smith. Second? Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
That council approved a request from Public Works and Public Safety Committee to award the streets sweeping line painting contract to the lowest bidder, 3-in-1 Contracting Inc., at a cost of $7,012.70, including HST.
Moved by Councillor Smith. Second? Second? Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
Next report.
Thank you, Councillor Smith. Move on to the next report, the Public Works Committee report. I'd also like to mention just before the report, I missed it, that Councillor Noella Collins is going to be joining us later. She's still at work, and following work she'll rejoin the meeting. Thank you. Okay, next Public Works Committee report.
Our committee met on May 14th via teleconference, and in attendance was myself as chair, Councillor Collins, Deputy Mayor Pearson, and with regard to staff, we had Public Works Superintendent Adam Green, and our recorder was Catherine Smith. We had the following recommendations. The committee recommends that council approve occupancy permit application from Kent Homes to occupy number 110 Charter Avenue in Argentia, pending confirmation of Government Services Centre approvals. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Collins Power. Second? Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The committee recommends that council approve an application from Felix Travers to construct a shed on property located at 7A O'Reilly Street. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Collins Power. Second? Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The committee recommends that council approve an application from Donald Fitzpatrick to construct a shed located on property number 15 Southeast Road. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Collins Power. Second? Deputy Mayor. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The committee recommends that council approve in principle the application from SDP to occupy building located at 141 Placentia Pike Road in Argentia as a storage facility only, pending Government Services approval or exemptions.
Moved by Councillor Collins Power. Second? Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The committee recommends that council approve an application from MJ Hickey Construction Limited to operate a quarry at number 1 Southeast Road. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Collins Power. Second? Second, Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions?
Mayor, just with respect to that one, can we put in pending Government Services Centre approvals?
Okay. Everybody in agreement to change pending Government Service Centre approval?
Yeah.
Keeping with the normal practice? Yes, okay. Any other questions?
Do I need to reread the motion again or not? No?
Okay, council approve application from MJ Hickey Construction to operate a quarry at number 1 South East Road, pending government service approvals. Any other questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
The committee recommends, I think this was already done, actually, the salt and sand mixture.
Yes, this was done.
That was done. And street sweeping was taken care of.
And the generator maintenance.
The generator, yeah. And I have one more. It is that council approved payment repairs to English's Paving at a cost of $3 per square foot as budgeted. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Collins Power. Second, Councillor Smith. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
And that was it, I believe, for our recommendations. Just a couple of items from our meeting. There has been some additional dog waste bag dispensers placed around the town. So just so our residents are aware that they are there, and just a reminder to clean up, certainly clean up after your pet. And they're there for you. So hopefully people will use them, and we just try to make it more convenient for people. So when they're out walking, they can at least, there's no excuses as to why you can't pay.
You've gone off the air, Councillor Collins. Councillor Smith, are you still here? Yes?
Yeah.
Councillor Fitzpatrick? Deputy Mayor?
Yep.
Councillor Hines? We'll wait and see if Councillor Collins Power rejoins us.
Mayor, just while we're waiting there, you talked about the waste disposable for the pets around the town. Out of the executive committee, you talked about, I know your committee about putting more bins around town to help with the littering.
Yes, Deputy. The town, we identified that, a lot of the waste going throughout the town, it's terrible. And once we noticed that people are cleaning it up, the next day there's still a lot of waste thrown out. We've also noticed that I believe we have 44 waste containers throughout the town for people near some of our sites that are being utilized because, every several days we have to be dumping them. So it's been identified that, yes, they are actually being utilized. So we're going to identify, another 20 more containers and other locations put out to town. Some of those may be along stretches of, where common walkways, between the Y or whatever the case may be. Some place not necessarily at a place, but give people a chance to stop and probably throw the garbage there to try to eliminate it. Again, littering has been very serious around the town, and we're trying to do what we do to curb it. And everybody has a responsibility as well, to try to notify or, concern people and address it if you do see somebody to throwing it out. Councillor Hines, I see you're looking to speak. Go ahead.
Sorry, Mayor. No, I was just noting that there's none here right on the flat of Jersey side. So it would be and there's a couple of, I know businesses are supposed to look after it, their own business, but people getting out of cars, and because it's so windy, it's a natural place for people to like to dump a few coffee cups or cigarette butts.
Yes, thank you, Councillor Hines. And again, the other part, adding on to that there, is that the Public Works to review, a recommendation was for Public Works to review and come up with a policy of, a bylaw for the town that any business that's there actually have to supply waste services outside of the building. So I guess that'll be back. So we will see something for the next meeting on that as well. Councillor Collins Power, are you back?
Yes, I don't know what happened there.
Thank you. We lost you for a moment. You're on back
Yes.
here. Okay. So, any other thing on the Public Works Committee?
No, I don't remember where I was, but just this police report. Just the typical. But they have 48 files open as of their last report. So, and the RCMP have also been ensuring that they comply and they're protecting themselves and the residents and under calls, they're making sure that they're protected. So, and they also have, I think we said at our last meeting, their count for services is reduced. So,
Yes.
yeah.
And again, just the one on the buffer around waterways, we've had
Yes.
numerous concerns about, buffers around the waterways and, environment, if there is a 15-meter buffer around the waterways and it has been protected, and, you need permits from the Department of the Environment, I guess, if you're going to be doing any within that 15-meter buffer zone. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. We'll move on to the next committee report. Culture, Tourism and Beautification.
That would be Councillor Collins' committee, and she's not here.
Okay, who's there somebody else here on the committee want to read the report? Councillor Smith?
I don't have it printed off, so I can't read it.
Okay.
I can, Mayor.
Okay, Councillor Fitzpatrick, please take you.
Just let me get into it because I clicked on the wrong one. So we met on May 13th. I wasn't actually in attendance. It was Councillor Noella Collins, Councillor Smith, and the Manager of Tourism, Marketing and Communications, and Miss Smith as a recorder. We don't have any recommendations. The recommendation that we had was sent to Finance, which was approved earlier, around the $2,000 fireworks. The committee discussed the impact of the covert alert system and the impact on the tourism industry. And they also discussed the level system in which the government of Newfoundland and Labrador had released, where there is still stipulations around the number of gatherings that are to be in each of the alert levels. Right now we are in alert level 4, and gatherings of 10 or more people are prohibited. So it's obviously going to have a significant impact on the tourism industry. However, it also is an opportunity for us as a municipality and a town to showcase the facilities that we have, and us starting to put our thinking hats on of how to be creative around that. So that's some of the discussion. I think that's going to be held over the next little while. There's some discussion on the convent, and our manager attended a municipal Newfoundland Labrador webinar with Heritage Foundation and gave a presentation on heritage projects and the possibility of future funding through Heritage NL. You've already talked about the suspension of the Marine Atlantic Service earlier in your executive report. So this was also discussed at the Tourism Committee, and hopefully through the efforts through you, Mayor, that we'll be able to somehow get that overturned, whereby that we don't see more of a negative impact on the businesses in the area with the no ferry service, because there's enough negative impact happening already with respect to COVID. We talked about...
Just one interjection, Councillor Fitzpatrick, because there was also some more information actually came from Marine Atlantic that they renewed the lease on the Vision, I believe, because the lease was up. So it's actually a renewal lease. So it's that's sort of good news that they're not going to be trying to downsize their fleet, that they've renewed the Vision for another couple of years as well. So that's some good news. At least they're not trying to downsize the service. So
good. We also talked about the importance of continuing with our beautification projects throughout the pandemic, and that there are many projects outside that can be addressed and be completed while following social distancing protocols. So there's been some discussions with Placentia Area Development Association on some of this. And that's basically it. The Placentia 350 Committee, Councillor Hines and Councillor Smith will sit on the board for the town as representatives. And that's the report.
Thank you, Councillor Fitzpatrick. Next, we'll move to Recreation Committee report. Deputy Mayor.
The Recreation Committee met on May the 14th by a teleconference. In attendance was myself, the chair, Councillor Hines, and Councillor Power. We had Adam Green, the Public Works Superintendent, and Ms. Power, the Manager of Tourism, Marketing, Communication, and Ms. Smith was a recorder. Mostly we talked about some of the alert levels and the impact on recreation. One of the things that happened this Friday past after our meeting, as you all know, tennis courts are now open. So within the next week, we'll look for guidelines on how that works and look at possibly open our tennis courts through recommendations from our management staff, if that will work, because right now it also is included in the playground, so we have to be careful around that. So we talked about a lot of recreation impact that the COVID-19 is having on it. There was a RecNL webinar. The Manager of Tourism, Marketing, Communication participated in RecNL. A lot of topics were discussed. It was determined that all summer programs have been canceled for the year as communities waiting to release the current restrictions. There was actually only 2 towns that were involved with the virtual learning. We were one of them, and there was another town. So it's good that we're out there leading the way in trying to do things in a different way and keep the kids active throughout the summer, even if it is in virtual reality. But nonetheless, we as a recreation are still committed to providing the best possible things that we can, and also at the same time employing some students throughout the summer in coordination with Pat, of course. We talked about the Recreation Committee, and that was brought up earlier, that we still continue with the $5,000 to help them upgrade some of the equipment issues they were having. Might not go ahead this year, but they certainly need the equipment upgraded for going ahead in the future. So the other one was the RFQ for the pool, as the mayor talked about. The other one is June is Recreation Month. The committee discussed some virtual ideas and encouraged physical activities and incentives to participate will be posted throughout the month of June via social media. The manager of TMC will explore the initiatives for community participation. And also there was an Avalon regional meeting. The manager of tourism, marketing, and communication will participate in the next meeting via Zoom, and we'll share information with the next committee when we do meet again. Other than that, that's it for recreation. I mean, recreation is still a lot of moving parts. I mean, in level 3, he talks about sports. Some of the sports programming will go ahead, but a lot of that will certainly depend on the advice of the chief medical officer and how we proceed going forward with sporting events and making sure we do it in a safe manner, that we certainly are following the guidelines that are outlined for the town. Other than that, that's it.
Yes, Deputy Mayor, and just to reiterate that we are following the public health guidelines. And, you know, with the recent announcement of like tennis courts being open, again, it's with rules, regulations, and restrictions. And once the council has a, clear understanding of those rules, commitments, and again, we will be posting signage back, and our facilities then will be open accordingly. So, the committee is reviewing it and doing it, as it's outlined by the public health guidance. We'll be likely opening soon as well. Thank you very much.
Mayor, can I just make a comment as well around the facilities that are opening?
Yes, Councillor Fitzpatrick.
I think for us to, it'd be good for us, I don't know if the Recreation Committee has discussed this or not, but once we get some guidelines from the province of what that actually means with respect to tennis courts or other facilities that they're allowing to open, that we post that information publicly at those facilities. In tennis courts, we could put it on the chain link fence for people to see and things like that.
The signage that would be there, yes, Councillor.
Perfect.
Before we actually open them, right now we have signage on them saying that they're closed. And
Yep.
if we do open, the regulations will be clearly posted, and we'd ask for people, to self-discipline themselves and follow the guidelines and rules accordingly. And in the event that, if stuff like this got out of hand and we don't have the resource to be policing it, then the council will have to look at, shutting them down again. So, self-policing in these matters, but certainly sure. And, for the Placentia residents have been very cooperative in all the regulations and guidelines so far to date. So.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next one is the community engagement and communications report. I'll welcome Councillor Collins. I just noticed you're here as well.
I'm here.
Thanks, Noelle. I know you're a frontline worker, and thank you, Councillor Collins, for doing what you're doing, looking after our most vulnerable people.
Thank you.
We had our committee meeting on May 14th, again by teleconference. I was there as chair, Councillor Fitzpatrick, Councillor Kay Smith, Ms. Power was there as Manager of Tourism, Marketing and Communications, and Catherine Smith was there as recorder. We have no formal recommendations at this time. And again, like Deputy Pearson said, it's an ongoing fluid situation with regards to communications. Again, we talked about how our municipal highlights is exchanged or communicated with our residents, and they used to be able to pick it up at Tim Hortons and that kind of stuff in different businesses, but that has changed. So it will remain, and we're going to keep it kind of on alert, and with the most of the information being emergency information or COVID-19 resource information. Our manager sits as co-chair on the committee for the age-friendly committee, and it's stated there will be no age-friendly this year. The committee is reviewing what other programs can be offered this year, and we do have money approved by the province. So they are that group. We were looking at doing a little rework of that age-friendly fair anyway. So I'm fully confident in that they'll be able to put together something appropriate and interesting and safe for the residents and for the people who usually go to that. Minutes from the Pbis meeting. The manager stated it's been confirmed that the Placentia Bay Industrial Showcase has been cancelled for this year. Again, the committee is exploring virtual business related sessions. So as opportunities come up, and we're not rolling over and playing dead. We need to keep up with it and react and act as we need to keep business stimulated and to be able to get that information and to buoy up our businesses. Again, the Placentia Bay Cape Shore Community Advisory Committee, the manager will be attending the next meeting via Zoom, and the date is to be determined. We talked about as a committee having a bit of a responsibility, not on us alone, but a bit of a responsibility to be able to say that all our residents are being looked after in some capacity. As people are being laid off and money runs out and things change and the dynamics of every household has changed, of course. I know mine has. And the summer will bring those challenges as well, because many of our people worked seasonally. And so there's going to be a response needed, whether that's health, food, shelter in some cases. And we need to make sure that all our community groups, whether that's the food bank or the Lions Club and kind of connect to make sure within all our groups that someone is looked after. So that's something that we're working on as a communication group as well. Not to take on the full responsibility, just to kind of have a roundtable discussion and see if it's being done and looked after. That would be part of the COVID-19 communications plan. The manager continues to put out messages on social media and remind residents to obtain accurate information, as we always have done, direct them to the site that is being monitored and updated as on a daily basis, of course. So that would be the www.gov.nl.ca/COVID-19/.ca, I think. Again, it's on our website and it's all over our social media. So we just want to be able to direct people to people who have the most up-to-date answer. And we're just trying to keep communications open with our public. I know that just because the doors might be closed doesn't mean the phone lines are, and doesn't mean our communications closed or shut down. So for email, any concerns, all our contact information is on our website. So the virtual doors are open.
Yes, Councillor Hines, you know, it's great to you and your committee with you know, the committee and the resource people, that we are doing a great job of keeping the communication out there, even, you know, in these pandemic times. I mean, we're doing a great job. We're We're trying to get information as it becomes available. We are posting through our Facebook or through the town's website and as well. So it's really good, and it's basing on the factual information, not necessarily the information that may be out there, but we're presenting the facts. And your committee is certainly doing a great job of doing that. And thank you very much. Any other questions for the Community Engagement and Communications? Next, we'll move to the Economic Development Committee. Councillor Fitzpatrick.
Hi, sorry. We haven't had our meeting for this month, but we have been trying to get some information out around the supports that are available to businesses. And I know the manager of Tourism Culture has put some of that on our Facebook. We actually have a meeting tomorrow that has been scheduled based on everyone's schedules with some economic development stakeholders within the town to discuss how we're going to promote tourism and culture within the town for this summer, given COVID and the changing landscape and environment in which we are operating in. And also a discussion of how we can support businesses during COVID and even post-COVID, because we're not out of the woods yet. There are a lot of supports that are available for businesses. One of the most recent ones is around the provincial government with respect to the alert levels, has a team actually set up to answer business questions. And we should have that information, I'm pretty sure, on our website or our Facebook around how, if anyone has questions pertaining to openings or guidelines. There are a lot of information, like Councillor Hines had said, around guidelines for specific industries or specific businesses that are reopening. But if there's something that's not clear, there is a team that is there to assist. If you're not familiar or you can't find the information, like Councillor Hines said, my email, I'm available to be able to answer any of the questions and help find out the information, as well as the staff in the town are very willing to help assist in getting some of the answers for you. So that's it. Tomorrow I'll have more to report next time. This is a very challenging time for all businesses and even individuals. This is something that's changing. What may be on the alert level system today may not be there tomorrow, because this will be adjusted. And like Councillor Hines had said, and the mayor, we'll take our direction from the Chief Medical Officer in the province. They'll set the course on which we will be in, and we'll abide by that.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Fitzpatrick. Just a point on your Economic Committee as well, and I've mentioned it too, that the Port of Argentia, even though, with the pandemic on us, we got to be looking for opportunities, which certainly sure your Economic Development Committee is. And, with the offshore and shutting down and the supply boats and the tankers and the rigs coming off offshore, we got to try to see if there's anything that we can do to bring some of that business to Argentia even as well. There's every rig that comes off offshore, there's 4 or 5 supply boats as well. So, we got to be trying to reach out and push to those as well to see, we can, get them to come to Argentia as well. We have certainly a great facility down there, and the more stuff that we can bring in here as well through these times is greatly needed.
I probably should have mentioned, Mayor, who's on that, who's attending that meeting committee-wise. Placentia Area Development Association's there, the Chamber is there, the Community Business Development Corporation, Royal Bank has been invited, the Argentia Management Authority along with the port are also represented there, the college is there. So as you can see from the individual or the organizations that I'm listing, it is really the organizations that provide support and help facilitate economic development within the area. Department of Tourism, Culture, Innovation, and Industry. I think I got that fold up, and a COA as well are there. So as you can see, they're the individuals, not the people who are actually implementing the economic initiatives, but they're there to help drive and help facilitate and support economic initiatives that can move forward.
Yes, it'd be great, and certainly reiterate to the port, the importance of trying to attract this new business.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that's it for the committees. We'll deal with the correspondence. Have anybody got any questions on the correspondence? Hearing none, I'll go around the table. I'll start on my right, Councillor Collins Power. Business of councillors.
I don't have anything, just a couple of comments, I guess. I was glad to hear that the transfer site is going to reopen. That's good to see. We did have a couple of, I know on social media, there was a couple of posts around illegal dumping in Argentia. That is being looked at, as far as I know, by the port, because it is their property. As well, just let our residents know that if they do see anything like that happening, try to get as much information as you can. Because, you can do it anonymously through Crime Stoppers or the RCMP, but it's good to, hopefully if those people are caught, then they'll learn, and then we can hopefully nip this stuff in the bud and hopefully get those people who are, making our town look really bad. And but now that the transfer site is open, I'm glad to see that. And I think that was about it. And also just a comment again around garbage, just to commend our public works staff. I know our workers are back, our seasonal workers, and it's great to see them out. I saw them a couple of times here now into places, of course, you wouldn't normally see, like down in the ditch in Ferndale or up here along the road in Dunville. And it looks so great after they've been through. And it's terrible to see 2 days later that someone has decided to toss out a cup or whatever. But, we got a lot of people coming on board the summer, and with the transfer site opening, hopefully that stuff was behind us. So I just wanted to commend those for the work they're doing.
Thank you, Councillor Collins Power. Deputy Mayor.
Can't hear you.
You're on mute there, Deputy Mayor.
Sorry about that.
Here you go.
Technically. Just a couple of things there. The new signs that we put up last year, I know there is some more landscape to be done with them, but it certainly would be nice to do some flowers and things around them, especially with people coming into our community this year, and having our own people look at what we're doing in Placentia certainly would be an eye-opening for them. So making sure that we're, that is taken care of. Clean up around the town is, up to better standards than even what we were in the past. That would be great. Having something to promote our town. I guess the tourism committee is looking at ways to promote our town with people doing the staycation and bringing things forward. And I guess that's what the meeting tomorrow will be about. So I'm looking forward to the results of that. The other thing that was talked about, I had some concerns about the hazardous waste materials. I know that was brought forward, but it has been cancelled right now. So I guess the Public Works Committee will be looking at that and trying to find a way to have that done just like any other thing, done in a safe manner, so people can still dispose of their hazardous materials in a proper way, and the town is able to give them the means to do that. But we got to make sure we do it within the guidelines and make sure we're keeping everybody safe. So hopefully we'll look at that in the next Public Works meeting and move something forward on that, which would be great. But other than that, that is it for me.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Fitzpatrick.
Nothing for me, Mayor, other than as we move through the alert system, things will change and we'll adjust accordingly. And like I said before, with respect to businesses and things like that, tomorrow we do have a meeting with some key stakeholders in the area to try to figure out how we can support the businesses in our community.
That's at 1 o'clock, right, Jamie?
That's at 11:30.
Okay.
Okay. Councillor Smith.
I have a few things. Personally recognize our paramedics as this Paramedic Service Week and thank them for their services, as well as all of our frontline workers. And I've had several complaints of roaming dogs in our town, running freely and chasing walkers and runners. And one instance they snapped at the runner's heels, and so dog owners, please be responsible for your you know, for the safety of your own dog and for the safety of our citizens. I would like to give our deepest condolences to the families of the fishermen in St. Lawrence who have been hit with this tragedy now. To say our prayers and our thoughts are with you. That's it.
Thank you, Councillor Smith. Councillor Collins.
Nothing for me tonight.
Thank you, Councillor Collins, and Councillor Hines.
My thoughts are with the crowd in St. Lawrence as well. I think they're all related or very closely related. This is also Tourism Week in Newfoundland. And what a kick in the behind to have to celebrate Tourism Week. But, you know, it is going to happen. It's going to be us. It's actually going to be, you know, myself and Kay or whoever taking visits, taking day trips, things we used to think that were as important as are actually going to be crucial to our tourism operators and our shop owners and our gas stations. I mean, it's going to be, whatever we can to make it work for businesses in Newfoundland and Labrador, because it's all tourism right now. You know, and it's good to see that there's some businesses reopening in some way, shape, or form in the next couple of weeks, our local ones. And like Nancy Brace said she used to be with Randall, you know, the experience you have won't be the same. It's like at home, our experiences are different. Our experiences when we go into summer won't be the same. Just support local, because they're not going to be there if you don't support them. The deputy mentioned about recreation sites and that opening as well, and we had talked about the recommendations that will follow, and some of those were about if we need to supply hand sanitizers in a safely manner and the extra garbage containers and having them emptied as much as possible. We're going to be right up to whatever the recommendations are going to be, and that might be a few extra hands to do the job. We're going to keep our residents safe no matter what. Again, the experiences will be different in all our tourism experiences, or when we go to a restaurant or we go to a shop like they are now. There's going to be plexiglass. It's not going to be the same. But you know what? It's never going to be the same. So we need to make it a new normal. So get out there, support your friends and your neighbors, and do what you can, spend what you can, encourage. You see lots of people going on hikes, our local people who are fit and healthy, others on, who are going on hikes and big, long treks, and they're sharing it. And when they're sharing it, then other people are sharing the trips that other people are taking in Placentia area. So we are our own best customers right now. So let's see what we can do. And again, I'm glad to see that the economic development are looking after such a fluid situation right now. And I'm sure that people who are entrepreneurs for a reason. It's not everyone can do that and think that way. And whatever we can do to support all our people who have been doing this for years, let's see what we can do to support them. And I think that covers it. So get out and do something touristy.
Thank you, Councillor Hines. Just a couple of points I have is one, I've been dealing with Minister Bragg on numerous files. Obviously, the Wellness Centre as one, and you know, some paving as well, and the Route 100, the route and along the Southeast Road. Also trying to get some on the Freshwater Loop Road, the connection. I've actually reached out to Minister Bragg. He was supposed to show up last week, but his meetings got cancelled, and he's supposed to come visit sometime, hopefully next week. He's going to come to the town of Placentia when he's in St. John, so it's really good to get the minister to come out here and see firsthand some of the issues, concerns we have. Again, I announced at the last meeting, I believe there was, you know, we were allocated for paving in the Route 100. The intent was going to be from, I believe it was Deris's to the Y, and that's being changed now. It's actually going to be from Fox Harbour Road intersection to Spencer Hancock's, which is really great. We ended up coming back towards, you know, back towards in the municipality more, where the road was more severe than it is. So government has addressed that, and yes, they're looking there. As well, Minister Bragg, lately, you know, I reached out looking for some additional funding for him to do some paving along by the bridge. There were several potholes out there as well. and we requested $5,000 from him. And last week he actually notified and said, we are still looking for the $5,000 for some of the paving. And I said, yes, and if you want, you can put another zero on the end. Anyway, we certainly got the $5,000, and he gave us a notification then that's approved. So we're going to be doing some work along by the bridge as well. The paving crews, I guess, is there tonight. The Public Works, recommended going ahead with some of the paving, and the paving crews will get this some of this paving done and straighten up as well. There's been clarification that the provincial roads, a lot of the provincial roads are not our responsibility. Unless we dig up the road itself, then we have to replace it. However, most of the town's roads, we try to maintain it. We certainly every year we're budgeting monies towards asphalt replacing, and speaking with the Public Works Superintendent, most of our roads are in good condition. Again, we've identified several. You'll probably see paintings marked around where they're actually going to come and do it. But again, back to the provincial roads, certainly sure, with this influx now this year of the, it's approximately around or $2 million is the number I'm hearing of road work coming through Route 100 and some southeast. Certainly you can never put enough money into the roads, but even that there is certainly welcome, and again, Minister Bragg for thank him for that. The next part is on the tourism committees as well, and while everybody's going to sit down and this is Tourism Week, we have to start promoting and marketing ourselves as municipalities, and throughout Newfoundland, everybody should do it. We have a lot to be shown here in Placentia as well. I mean, Placentia is a historic town. There is an abundance of things to do. The deputy just hit on the signage that we've had. The new signage is great. It's this app signage that gives you information, a lot of stuff there. And I'm sure that the committees, the Tourist Committee with the communications, and the Economic Development Committee, they're going to come out with initiatives for us coming forward now in this summer month that we're going to take avail of all this here opportunity, because a lot of Newfoundlanders normally would be traveling away. Now they're going to be finding themselves looking to travel at home. So hopefully we can capitalize on that. We can get a lot of people coming into Placentia area, looking at the sites and making them us a tourism destination for them as well. So I'm certainly looking forward to committees coming up with, some suggestions, and and even I'm sure I've been speaking with some great business people in the Placentia area that they have some great ideas for attractions to come as well. So stay tuned. It's certainly going to be good, and it's really nice to try to get Placentia promoted for a place to be. With that, thank you all very much. Councillor Hines, I see your finger. Yes.
Sorry, I just need to note that the picture you see behind me is actually from Cyril O'Reilly. Just so, as I'm on tourism group settings and meetings all week, I'll be featuring Placentia and different scenes from the Placentia area all week.
Yes, and again, Councillor Hines, we have Mr. O'Reilly is a great artist as well, and throughout the town, like I remember before, like at some of the local businesses, those artists have been displaying their paintings stuff for sale. So so a lot of great artists in Placentia, a lot of great paintings, a lot of great things to see. So hopefully we get an influx of people coming in. They'll take some of Placentia's history back with them as well. Okay, that's it. Okay, thank you all very much, and I'll ask for a motion. Go ahead, Councillor Hines. Motion to adjourn. Moved by? Motion to adjourn. Moved by Deputy Mayor, second by Councillor Fitzpatrick. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.